Hey, it's Dominique from Blogging in My Undies, and today I wanted to talk to you about the A-Man. Just going to take a little bit of a break from autism in the sense that this whole video will not be about autism. The A-Man is now 4 years old, and since he was little, there was a huge difference between the V-Man and the A-Man. But the one common thing that they had were, picky eating habits and also language difficulties. So by the time the A-Man was 1, he really didn't say very much. He could say no, and I think that was it. And then by the time he was about 2, he just babbled in his own speech. By that point, he was already in daycare, and he just didn't really say much in English or in Finnish. It was just really just babble, and he was having a lot of tantrums, a lot of problems at the daycare he was at, which was a neurotypical one, just down the road. And it was a bit of an issue because the daycare couldn't handle him, so they ended up keeping him back. He was in the little kid group, and they ended up keeping him in that group another year in a row instead of advancing him up to his age group of 3 to 4 year olds. And the reason for that, they explained, is that the older group would have less teachers or less staff because the kids are older, they can, they get along, they can dress themselves, and the A-Man couldn't do some of these things. Very quickly, the A-Man potty trained himself. I mean, it was very sudden. Within about 3 months, he was potty trained. He had the occasional accident, usually with a night terror if he woke up in the middle of the night, but otherwise, he was diaper free before 3 years old. And that's when he finally started speaking, was about 3 years old. And it was just very short words like bus, car, it's a bus, no, yes. That was pretty much it. And then, as time went on, his speech got a little bit better, a little more vocabulary, but still, as of recently, his sentences are no more than 2 or 3 words long. He could say, it's a bus. And now he says, Mummy eyes, when he wants me to look at something. Or Daddy eyes, whoever. Eyes, eyes. And now he's at the fun age where he likes to lecture me if I don't do something very nice. Like I threw a coffee package on the conveyor belt, like not threw it, but just lightly tossed it onto the conveyor belt at the grocery store, and I got lectured so hard by a 3-year-old. He was 3 at the time, and he shouted at me, "No, mummy, mummy no heita," meaning no throw in Finnish, but a is no in Finnish, a. But anyway, so he really mixes his language. So he told me, "Mummy, no heita grocery store, no, mm-mm." And I felt very embarrassed because, of course, the store was almost closing, so everybody was at the cash to pay, and everybody whipped their heads around to see why there was a kid shouting at his mother about tossing a coffee package on the conveyor belt. But anyway, to help his speech, the speech therapist and his daycare, he's now at a specialized daycare for kids with a variety of disabilities. He's been there now since autumn, so August, and there's only like 12 kids in that group, which is really great because then it means it's personalized. It's one-on-one for the most part. They have about 3 or 4 teachers at all times, and when the V-Man went there last year, he had his own one-on-one assistant because his autism was so severe. But the A-Man is not that bad because it's not autism. Now we know it's SLI, specific language impairment. So it's gotten a lot easier. I mean, he still has his bad days, he'll have a tantrum here and there, but they've dropped significantly since switching from a neurotypical daycare. And the reason for that, I have another video, an earlier video, about PECS, Picture Exchange Communication System, but they think that the A-Man is ahead of that and that he's okay with these communication boards. So as you can see here, it's in Finnish, sorry, but the pictures are universal. So like I, you, apple, banana, grapes. No, or don't do that, you know. Halawan means I want. And then they're happy, it's empty, or they're done. A lot, a little, whether it tastes good or whether it tastes bad. And then a variety of foods and beverages. Hopefully you can see that okay. So these communication boards have been extremely helpful for us. And he has another one here about feelings. So again, starting with who, me, you, us, us or we, love, and all the different feelings. And lately he's been taking this board and pointing at one of the pictures and saying it's Mummy or Daddy. Or Mummy or Daddy Pig, because he's really into Peppa Pig lately. So these have been really, really helpful for us, because with SLI kids, they really thrive on visual communication, visual everything. So we've come to terms with that, and the reason why we don't use PECs at our home is because the pictures will go missing. And whether they're small ones or whether they're big ones, they will go missing. And the V-Man hasn't shown any interest in the PECs app that I've downloaded for him. He hasn't shown any interest whatsoever. I haven't tried with the A-Man because it is the V-Man's iPad, and I don't want them to fight over it, because then that wouldn't really be fair, because the V-Man doesn't have many things that he claims as favorites. So anyway, plus it's his. Something else that the A-Man's speech therapist has provided were some games. So this is a sheet in which I should laminate. I'll do that soon. I should laminate and then cut them out. Or even just laminate it. Yeah, I should just laminate it. And as you can see, there's descriptions. So there's dad, mom, who, what, girl, boy. And then on the other side, it has the action that's going on. You know, like something to do with cleaning, packing, eating, drinking, and cutting, and more cleaning. And what else? Getting dressed. Yeah, and eating and drinking. Or feeding. And then what she gave me, because it was a game that they tried together, the goal was that the A-Man would draw some cards. Again, I need to laminate and cut these out. And then whatever card he drew, he had to describe what was going on in the picture. And then he had to take that picture and put it into a box with one of the first page's symbols on it. So who was it? Was it a dad? Was it a mom, a boy, or a girl? Or what was it? And what happened? So he had to do that, and it's not as easy as you think for a kid that has not a big vocabulary and difficulty with learning and also difficulty with speaking. So it's really not as easy. I mean, let's take this one. So what you see is a woman, a baby, and the baby is being fed by the woman. So she would technically fit in the mother category, and she would be in the, my finger's in the way, feeding someone else. And with that, of course, you know, just even the basics, having the A-Man say like Aiti, Valva, mom and baby, food, Rauka, you know, having him to say that and then decide which category it belonged in was incredibly difficult for him. So it's something that we're going to have to practice, but this was an excellent game, I think, you know, because you can do so much more than just say like who and what they're doing. You can say like what color is their shirt, what color is that dress that she's putting on, color are his socks, you know, and so on. So we're learning, and it's not something I knew anything about. SLI, no idea. I mean, we genuinely thought he had ADHD or he was somewhere on the spectrum, autism spectrum, because of the V-Man and the likeliness of another boy in the family, is 4 to 1. Or not just any family, but in general, it's 4 to 1. There's 4 boys to 1 girl that would be diagnosed with autism. And the number is like 1 in 68 or 1 in 63 in the US. So, I mean, we're in Finland, but still. So we're just trying to learn how to entertain him, how to exercise his brain, and how to decrease the tantrums, because from what we understand from our hospital visit during the testing and the assessment to see what he possibly could have, the biggest thing the doctor said is, if you couldn't speak and say what was really on your mind, wouldn't you throw a tantrum as well? Yeah, probably. So keep an open mind, try whatever you can, whatever works. Like picture bingo games are a great option, and also like memory games, like you have to match 2 cards or 2 pictures to each other. That helps. A lot of our games that we got, I'll dig them out and make another video about educational tools that we do have at home, that we do use. A lot of it we get from the secondhand store, because why not? Someone else doesn't need them, and it saves us some money by buying it secondhand, and I see no problem with that. So far so good. Anyway, take care. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye!